Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to Social Media Scoop with Choma ABC, your daily dose of what's trending, what you're talking about, and what's dominating the digital space in Nigeria and abroad. Today, we're not just bringing you the trending stories. We're going to be debating about it. We're going to be telling you why it matters to you. And with me to analyze all these sizzling hot takes is public affairs commentator Inec. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome, Gemma, and good morning. It's a cold Monday morning, and we're glad to be here to say it as it is without minding whose cause it. Thank you for having me.
Yes, today is August 3rd, 2026, and it's Monday. Happy New Week to our viewers. Today on this show, we have top stories for you, from church drama to viral wedding to politics to August meeting gone wrong to Inec releasing credentials of presidential candidates to a TikToker who has lost her job in Zenith Bank due to TikTok videos. We're going to be diving right straight into it. Our top story trending at number 1 today is JP 2026, who took over the internet over the weekend. It's been buzzing online because streamer and TikTok sensation PELLER and AI mimic JARVIS had their wedding over the weekend. We have hot clips of the wedding. Celebrities were in attendance. The outfits were so fantabulous, so fabulous, and it was a sight to behold. Let's take a look at JP 2026. Let's take a look. So we are now in an era where TikTokers and content creators are now becoming more influential than the average traditional celebrities. But we want to wish congratulations to the newly married couples. May your home be blessed. But Emeka, social media users were having a kind of debate online, with many critics saying that they are too young to get married, and some saying that age is just a number and maturity is of the mind. And this young TikTokers or content creators, they have everything it takes for them to get married. There is money, there is fame, so why shouldn't they get married? And I totally agree with that. Though, and PELLER also said that in a recent interview that his parents were not married, so he wants to break that jinx and get married to his beloved wife JARVIS. How do you chime in on this?
Well, for me, what I believe is that we should just congratulate the young couples for taking the right step, getting married. It's a good thing. And for those saying maybe they are too young, maybe it's because of the times we live in. If you take it back to those days when our parents were much younger, they were getting married
16, 15.
You understand? So I don't see the need for any criticism. And we should just wish them well, and we pray that, or we hope that God gives them the wisdom to make a success of this. It's a good thing. Congratulations to them. It was a well-attended event. It was
a lot of celebrities.
We love entertainment enough, so it's a good thing. So congratulations to the couple.
And it's exciting to see young people getting married and celebrating love,
engaging in extramarital affairs and all sorts of some flirtation.
So big congratulations to PELLER and JARVIS. Okay, so let's move on to our second trending story, which has taken social media by storm, with a lot of debates flying right, left, center. We have Cardinal John in a recent interview following the Catholic Bishop Conference, where he spoke about how they spoke truths to President Bola Ahmed TINUBU. He spoke about the economic situation of the country. He spoke about the democratic decline and insecurities. But let's take a look at this very recent interview that has gone viral. Let's take a look.
Our president keeps receiving it
in reaction.
I was not surprised that he was not looking very happy. No, even his colleagues who were there. we knew that this is different from the kind of statements that our president keeps receiving from all kinds of people. And that is one of the things that worries us, that there are so many people hanging around Mr. President, giving him a rosy picture of what the country is, which it is not. And we felt that we have no duty to do that. Indeed, we have the obligation to help him to appreciate the reality of the situation in which we find ourselves. And that is the reality that we painted, which I know is not the kind of thing that he wanted to hear. And the reply shows very clear.
I'm concerned that your cross is going over your mic.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and you can see his reply.
Strong statements coming from Cardinal John ONAIYEKAN. Well, let's take reactions of Nigerians. We have on TikTok, FMK2. He commented, I'm a Muslim, but I think I'm proud of the action of these Catholic bishops. If Africa is working, spiritual leaders are way powerful than political leaders. Africa is a spiritual land. So, Emeka, when we see statements like this coming from political leaders, do they push, from religious leaders, do they push political leaders to do better? How do you read this?
Any sincere political leader is supposed to, this kind of statement are supposed to push you, to jolt you back in case you were sleeping. Because I've seen the pushback from the presidency. You know, there have been a lot of name calling against the person of His Eminence, Cardinal John ONAIYEKAN. I believe everything he said there is a statement of fact and is not criticism. Okay. And one thing, I believe this presidency is progressing wrongly, because anytime they have the opportunity to receive the truth, instead of taking the message, all they want to do is to attack the personalities involved. This will not work at all. And what this reminds me, because I read a book some time ago about an author called Hans Christian Andersen, when he painted a picture of, the title of the book is The Emperor's New Clothes. And it talks about the story of an emperor that loves clothes so much. He loves clothes so much, until the point where some swindlers came in and took advantage of his love for clothes. They swindled him. Even when he was naked, he felt he had been dressed, he had been clothed. And nobody around him could tell him the truth, until a small child in that crowd was able to tell him,
you are naked.
Emperor, you are naked. You understand? Those around President Tinubu are those his sycophants. They are more like the swindlers. They are not telling him the truth. Until that small child, represented by His Eminence, John ONAIYEKAN, telling him the truth. It is in his best interest to listen and work with it. Because there's no, I don't see it as criticism. Everything he stated there are statements of fact. Is it that Nigerians are hungry? To which President Tinubu is now reacting that hunger has been in existence even before he was born. But there is a reason why you are you are voted into position. Every position, every leadership is all about problem solving. And if you have not solved it, then what is your use being there? So everything is stated is a statement of fact. It is in the best interest of the president and those around him to listen to the voice of truth now that they still can, and see how they make use of it to the interest of all. So there's no point saying all this pushback, all this name calling. It's not necessary. The Cardinal is a man of truth, and he has been consistent over the years. Right from the days of Obasanjo, he was among the voices against the third term, the supposed third term agenda of the then President Olusegun Obasanjo. So please, we should learn to respect our institutions and our personalities like this very Cardinal. So that's it.
Thank you, Emeka, for your submission. Moving on to another very trending story that has taken the internet by storm. As we get towards the 2027 presidential elections, Inec has released the credentials and documents of approved presidential candidates. We have the credentials of the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in clear view. We also have that of the NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi, and former Vice President and the presidential candidate of the ADC, article in full glare of the public to see. And Nigerians are now doing what I describe as an online audit and verification process. They're checking dates, they're checking age, and checking all documents that have been released by the Inec. And this has raised a lot of controversies online. But let's take a look at this. Okay, so Emeka, you've seen, even though we can't show it at the moment due to some technical glitches, I'm sure you've seen President Bola Ahmed credentials, and you saw that of Obi and that of Atiku. And in a recent interview, we saw the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the now presidential candidate of the ADC throwing jabs at the current president and stating that in the INEC released credentials for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his primary education was not there, his secondary education was not there, but we saw his BSc from the university where he graduated, and Atiku is pointing fingers and saying that that should not be allowed if it was a credible system. But let me take one reaction, and you tell me what you think by this. So we have on Twitter, we have Sam Achu. He tweeted, now X, a judiciary run by rogues in a sane society. Those at the helm of affairs of these agencies should be in jail. What a country. This character is not ashamed to prevent these forged documents to the public. I believe that before such credentials have been put out by the INEC, there should be thorough forensic investigations, and before they upload these results and these credentials, they have been, researched and they've made sure that all these things are okay. So that's why this brings me to ask you these questions. Why are Nigerians pointing at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's primary and secondary education? Do you think this is just baseless critics by his opposition, or do they have a point there by pointing this out? How do you chime in on this?
Exactly. This is exactly how Nigerians are supposed to question everything with regards to those, who are, aspiring to lead us. Because if you go to the street, Choma, anybody that wants to, even if you want to, you are to apply for the position of a sales boy in even in my shop, you must have something like, let's say, secondary school certificate. The list. You understand? That's the list. Now, look at, there's no credential in that column. The column for primary, there's no credential there. I saw 0000. No credential. And even the one for the tertiary institution. What did you see there? BS in 1979. That is not a credential now. Is that a credential? So I'm really impressed that Nigerians are, for once, looking into all these things, because if you want to vie for one of the most important jobs in this country, your credentials should be, you should look at the other ones, the likes of Obi and Atiku. Everything is clear. So I believe, anyway, I know that this is not a final, submission, because you feel so? Yeah, because this is not like the Form EC9 or something like that. I believe changes will still come later on, before the elections proper. But if we are going to go with this, and if INEC should not, accept this at all, we should do better, because the job of a president, the most important job, the #1 job in this country, those who are, seeking to represent us must be those with the right academic credentials. And what did even the Constitution say? That the least minimum requirement is that's what I was about to say. Or secondary. How come he did not provide the primary or secondary education? Then you are running to tell us BSc 1979. How is BSc 1979? It's not a credential. You cannot look for a job now, even in a shop in the street, and you tell them, BSc 1979. That will not, it will not stand. So it's the right thing that Nigerians are doing, and for once, I really more commend Nigerians. It looks like magic. That we should you didn't go through primary school. You didn't go through secondary school. That means he must be a genius. He must be a genius. Yeah. Some people are even telling us that he was homeschooled. And this is probably there's a very high possibility of that. He was homeschooled. I don't know about that. I cannot speak for them. And this speaks a lot to in 2023 he provided the one for primary and secondary. Yes. The secondary. And we know the controversies around that. Exactly, because the one he provided Government College Ibadan that he graduated in 1970. And a school that was founded in 1974. So that probably that's why there's a lot of controversy. around the educational background and even the age of the president. And I feel really sorry for those who support this man, because it's one of the hardest jobs to do. Because at every point in time, you keep seeing one controversy with regards to his age and his education. I believe he should come out and speak and clarify and clear the air, so that Nigerians will know that we are having at least some of our best representing us.
Even those for their vice president, their credentials too are also released. I saw that of Kwankwaso, Shetima, and Amechi. I saw all of that.
So why is it so difficult that the credentials of the person that's been occupying the seats in Asoro cannot be verified?
So Nigerians are in their right to ask questions.
Very right, please. 1979 BSc is not a credential. So for me, that place is blank. Yeah. Thank you very much.
So let's move on to another trending viral video that has split reactions on social media. We have Enugu State. During an August meeting, a young man approached this meeting and he was seen harassing his wife, who he stated that was supposed to be with their sick son in the hospital, and despite calling her several times, she refused to pick his calls. And when she was leaving the house, she told her husband that she was heading to the hospital to take care of their sick son. But at this event that happened in Enugu, a business August meeting, the man stormed the venue and was dragging his wife out of this place. Now this has caused split reactions online, with many women saying that it is not only the job of a woman to take care of their sick child, that the child belongs to both of them. And some critics are still blaming the woman and saying, if your child or your family is your priority, you shouldn't be seen in that, in a different setting when your son is sick. But let me take one reaction by I am Chari009 on TikTok. He commented, "I'll bet this event is the only chance she had for herself, and the man wasn't happy. Couldn't he look after the child for a few hours? Damn." So Emeka, you're a man. I want to get your own reactions on this. Do you think that this public embarrassment was too much, the way the man pulled off the stunt, or did he do the right thing by trying to drag her out of there to go take care of their sick son?
He didn't do the right thing. Okay. And what we saw there is indicative of a broken home. That shows the picture of a man who is not in charge of his home. And nobody can convince me that it is the duty of the woman alone to look after their sick son, their sick child. Both parents can. And if, for once, this is you are Igbo and you know how important August meeting. I'm not saying that August meeting is, the child in the hospital does not deserve attention of the parents. But what happened to the man? If he could have the time to come for that August meeting to embarrass his wife publicly, why not use that time to go and look after your child in the hospital? Is it not the same time? Why must, and it's not as if this August meeting will last forever. How many hours will they last? So it's just indicative of a broken marriage. It shows a man not fully in charge.
But that's your son. That's her son she's talking about.
It's also the man's son.
Yes, but she should. I think the man's anger was that she lied about saying she was with the son in the hospital. Meanwhile, she's in the August meeting. To me, I feel that that scene there was content creation. I don't really think that's so real. But the bigger conversation here is about responsibilities when it comes to the house and values. So at the end of the day, what we should take home from this is responsibility of children or household chores or whatever it is when it comes down to the family unit. It's not gender based, and it's not only for the woman. I like the way you're reacting to that.
Exactly, that's what I want us to. We have to establish that fact. It is not only the duty of a woman to look after their children. Please, men, we should get it right. Please, this man should not get on the nerves of Umuada.
Exactly, because if Umuada reason him.
Look at this man.
Thank you so much for your submission. Okay, let's move on now to another very viral moment that happened over the weekend. We have an ex-Zenith Bank worker, a TikToker popularly known as Get Ready With Me, Rebecca. Rebecca has took to her TikTok page to explain how she has been fired from her job as a banker due to trending videos she makes in the workspace or before coming to work. Rebecca, she does this very crazy Get Ready With Me videos where she shows hilarious ways where she gets ready to go to her job. She's a banker, and also she videos herself in the work premises where she does TikTok and all that. And we know this our generation, we tend to put everything out there on social media, but this has caused split reactions online, because many Nigerians are saying that when you're at work you should focus at work, and some are saying that you can also create content that will also aid your company when it comes to online social media engagement. There's some people are also giving examples of, I think, another bank, FCMB or so, who rewarded their staff who was seen making TikTok videos like this, which went viral. Though Rebecca stated that she had been told multiple times to stop these TikTok videos she kept on doing in the office and all that. But this brings me to the question: at this age where we are, where social media plays a vital role in our community today and even our workspace, should workers be disciplined when it comes to creating content, or should they be applauded if they bring the right attention to the company or the organization where they work for? And do you think Zenith Bank are within their rights for firing her, since you know how the banking job is? There are a lot of rules to be followed and how you present yourself and all that. How do you read this generally?
Well, for me, Zenith Bank, because from all you said, the backstory now, she has been warned.
She's been warned several times.
And she disobeyed constituted authority. These are the people that employed you. And I also believe, before they warned her, that means such actions are not permitted within the company, those employing her. If they had warned you, so why did you go ahead to do it? Maybe her content creating activities are interfering with working hours. And that should show that she has a poor ethic to work. I believe the banks are within their right to have sacked her. That's the right thing to do.
But are you aware that banks also go out of their way to hire content creators because of this content
she
creator
was not hired
culture?
as a content creator.
Okay.
Well, let's establish that fact. If you are not hired as a content creator, you should stay on business. Yeah. You cannot combine the two. If she wants to continue, now that she has been sacked, I believe she has enough time now
to create content.
Time into content creation. So nobody should come and blackmail anybody. For me personally, I believe that the banks are within their rights to have sacked her so that she can have enough time to go into full content creation, because they want her to stop. The fact that other banks are doing is FCMB. Maybe that's, you know, that's within their own company policy. It's not the company policy of Zenith Bank to permit you to.
She was warned and cautioned.
Of course, in her terms of contract or whatever, I believe if she had read through, she must have known that she was not hired to be maybe a front desk officer and a content creator.
Exactly.
So please, she should accept the situation.
And I know we're in a digital era, but wherever you find yourself in an establishment, try to follow the rules. Sometimes if you are in an establishment, they tell you they don't want colored hair, they don't want this, they don't want that. If you're in the medical field, you can't carry long nails and all that. Just adhere to the rules and just try to keep your social media life away from your work life.
If you know you want to be a full-time
content
creation, there's no need going to occupy somebody's position, because there are millions of Nigerians who are ready to do the job and stay on business without talking about content creation. If she knew she wanted to be a content creator as first, she shouldn't have gone a source for employment in Zenith Bank.
Well, she has enough time now to create all the content she wants, and who knows, she has already gone viral, and content creation pays very well these days. So don't let that deter you or make you feel bad, Rebecca. If that's your passion, if that's your dream, go for it, girl.
Exactly. Simple and short. So content creation pays so well.
You don't know.
So what are we doing?
We're creating content.
Now what? Okay, this is content. I didn't know.
Okay, let's move on now to another viral interview that has caused a stir on social media. We have former President Olusegun Obasanjo in this recent interview where he was speaking to Charlie Boy at a launch of a memoir for Charlie Boy's father. In this interview, President Olusegun Obasanjo is stating that he regrets choosing former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as his vice president. Let's take a look.
The man I pick as my running mate, my number 2. If I had known him as I came to know him later, I would not have picked him.
You're talking about Atiku, your VP?
My vice president.
So, Emeka, you've seen the video of President Olusegun Obasanjo categorically stating that he regrets choosing former Vice President as his, Atiku Abubakar as his Vice President, and stating that he didn't know his character so well that if he knew, he would have chosen him. Don't you think that statements like this ahead of the 2027 election will tend to, push negative reactions when it comes to Atiku Abubakar? But let me just take one reaction, then I take your reaction on this. We have Lobez. He commented on TikTok. So Atiku made you spend $18 billion on useless space satellite that disappeared weeks after launching. Spend another $16 billion on electricity that never succeeded until date. Blame it on Atiku. A final reaction on TikTok by Emmanuel. He stated, your VP, Atiku Abubakar, only offended you, Obasanjo, by stopping your third tenure ambition, Emeka. So you see how social media has, social media users are reacting to this. Oh, what's your thoughts on this?
This is not the first time we've been hearing about this. I don't really know. As an individual, I beginning to think, I don't know the political sense Alhaji Atiku Abubakar must have committed against Pa Obasanjo that over the years. I think I've been hearing about this, I think since 2019 when Atiku even ran under the PDP, when he ran alongside Obi. So
very quickly.
You understand? So I just believe he should move on, all right, so that because a lot of people will, this might negatively affect the candidacy because
ahead of
2027. Let's discipline does lie. The past is the past. We're trying to move forward as a nation, please.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Emeka, for your in-depth analysis as always. Thank you so much for doing TV with me. Thank you, viewers, for taking out your time to do TV with me. Thank you to my production team. But I might add, the reactions we get online and the reactions of our guests are solely their opinion and not influenced by Kaftan TV or social media scoop. I still remain Chioma ABC, and I'll see you next time on The Scoop. Bye-bye.